Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
We can enter any home we want, and we will one. Because wanting is our will on this fine night. Don't force us to hurt you. He's just like a purge. To the standard.
You better find someplace else to go.
I got a wicked sweet tooth tonight. And I want my candy back.
I believe we are live for another purge of the BS. Yes, on a Saturday night. We had a little technical difficulty, so I couldn't get my panel on tonight. So I hope y'all okay with just dealing with me, because it's just me. And of course, the purge of the BS. So thank everybody for coming on in. All of the folks that came in early, IMZ, Purple Groovy, all my mods, anybody that's tuned in on the multiple forums right now. I think we might be on Twitch right now, not sure, but we're definitely on YouTube. So thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for doing what y'all do. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a little something in the chat. This gong is for you. Yes. So for everybody that's in the chat, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I really do. I really do. So we're about to get into this purge of the BS, okay? Because tonight we're purging the line between flattery and cultural appropriation and people just being foul and grifting. So let's see if the stream is still live. Yeah, it's still live. All right, I'm back, or at least it says I'm back. So I'm not going to take too much time wasted on this thing, because it's going crazy tonight. Like I said, we had a little technical issue that had my panel unable to connect correctly. So it is just me tonight. So thank you for hanging out while we had these technical difficulties. Let me know that we're good here. Z, let me know that we're good. Give me the thumbs up when you actually see me in real time, so I can get into this thing. All right. I don't know what that was. We say it's the AI bots coming to stop me from having real talk with my peoples. So we'll go with that as the excuse for the night. But now, let's get into this purge of the BS. For those that don't know, like I said, we are going into an interesting episode tonight where we're going to explore the line between admiration and exploitation. We've all heard the phrase that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but sometimes that's true, and sometimes that copying can be a costume, can be a cash grab. It can be a grift, as they call it. So we're going to dig into that a little bit because there was a very interesting video that came down my timeline. Somebody sent to me and asked me my thoughts on it. And we're going to get into that video a little bit later. But before we do that, we're going to go over our preliminary purges, okay? Things that you probably didn't know about because most of our current footage and current media is revolving around the Iran situation. So you may or may not have heard a few other things. So of course, here on the Purge of the BS, we always make sure that we touch on those topics first. All right, so let me adjust my thing here because OBS did crash for some weird reason, but it's back. So we'll take that as a good thing. And let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what if my thing is okay. So our first story, our first purge, is one that was very interesting to me because sometimes things go on in the underground, as they call it, right? That you don't even know about. And apparently somebody got caught in an airport trying to smuggle 2,000 queen ants. Yeah, I know, that sounds crazy, right? But no, that's exactly what happened here. So bear with me. Let me bring this over to y'all so we can take a look. Hold on just a moment here. Go full screen. Is that, yeah, they can see it. All right. Y'all got to check this story out. If we had volume, that'd be awesome. Go with that.
Now, hear this next story. It's going to be interesting.
It is interesting.
A Chinese national was on Wednesday arrested at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport while attempting to smuggle Queen Garden ants out of the country. Authorities say the suspect is the mastermind behind the global garden ant syndicate trafficking. The suspect was later arraigned.
Wait a second. The global syndicate of ant smuggling? They have a global syndicate. Like it's a problem globally that they're smuggling ants. I didn't know this was a thing, but okay, I'll let the guy continue. But the moment he said global syndicate, I had to stop for a second because that means this is large scale. This large scale ant smuggling going on. Might have to get Trump and them on it.
And detained to allow for further investigations. Ode Francis has that report.
Kenya Wildlife Service investigators say Zhang Keng-kun was intercepted in the early hours of Tuesday as he attempted to smuggle close to 2,000 Queen Garden ants sealed to China. Part of the ants were packed in test tubes, while about 300 were concealed in tissue paper rolls hidden in his luggage.
Personal luggage was searched, and within that luggage there was found 1,948 garden ants. They were packed in specialized test tubes, which is now a departure from the syringes that we saw in 2025.
Hold on. He said this is a departure from the syringes that they saw in 2025. So that means just last year, somebody attempted to do something similar, but they had the ants inside of syringes. Okay, this is already weird to me because it's like, how do you find out that that's the thing you're going to do? Like that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the smuggle that you're going to pick up. You're not going to be a drug dealer. You're going to be an ant dealer. You're going to deal in queen ants, garden ants. So I don't know if they're good for gardening or if they're used to like put drones on their back. I don't really know what the use is, but apparently it's pretty serious that this guy got locked up over it.
It comes nearly 1 year after another attempt was busted where 2 Belgian nationals, 1 Vietnamese and a Kenyan, were arrested at the same airport with 5,000 giant African harvesters ants bound for China. Investigators now link those arrested to the same trafficking ring believed to be coordinated by Ken Kun. The suspect was arraigned before Magistrate Njeri Thuku, who allowed the prosecutors detain him for 5 days to allow detectives conduct forensic analysis on phones and laptop.
KWS teams were in his pursuit, as is believed to have been the mastermind of that operation in 2025, the legal operation.
Detectives are also extending their probe to Nakuru, Naivasha and other towns where ants harvesting.
All right. First of all, I get the point. What I don't get is the end game. Like, maybe they don't want to tell us because that might get more of us to start smuggling ants. I don't know. But why would you have thousands of packed away ants in your luggage? Are you trying to spread some type of new damn COVID with these ants? I want to know. I need to know more about this story because it really reminds me of some snakes on a plane type shit. Like all of a sudden the luggage pops open and these freaking killer ants are running through the plane, and you know, you got Samuel L. Jackson over there. I'm tired of these motherfucking ants on this motherfucking plane. Like, that's what I see here. But I just wonder, is this less time than crack? Because it looks like crack, okay? But it's not. It's ants. So what would be more, what would have a higher penalty? Trafficking ants or trafficking crack? I would assume that trafficking ants would have a lower problem situation as far as penalty, right? But I don't know what the law is on these particular ants in that country. It sounds like they're trying to smuggle them out of that country for some other reason where they can get some money. I don't know what that's about. Nobody's ever come to me and said, hey, I got this great idea. How about we smuggle some ants? No one has ever mentioned this as a hustle. So apparently overseas, this is the thing that happens. They mentioned a situation a year ago where there was 5,000 of them. So people are packing their luggage full of ants and getting on planes with them, or attempting to. And this guy was arrested at the airport, so he must have gone through TSA. TSA must have looked through the x-ray and been like, what the hell does he have in here? And they searched his bag and they found safari ants. Queen safari ants, which are known as garden ants in the safari. Because if you live in the safari, you don't call them safari ants. They're just ants at that point. So, like I said, maybe I got the wrong hustle going here, but it just seems like they're on to something because it keeps happening. So apparently there's a whole business, a market behind this, and I kind of want to know more. I'm going to follow up on this story. Because there's some ants around where I live that if, you know, somebody want to buy them, I'll scoop them up. I'll scoop up a few ants. So, see, Purple Groovy's talking about somebody got ants in their luggage too. So, Purple Groovy, can you please explain to me why people are trafficking ants? That is the question. Because, you know, I'm all about making a dollar. So, if there is some benefit to this, that's not going to take you too far outside the law, like maybe I can sell some ants on Craigslist or eBay or something, maybe I can do that and make some money, because apparently this is worth something. It's obviously worth something. But other than being worth something, the other problem is it's overall some bullshit, because why would you have thousands of ants packed up? That means you had to pack them up. Like you had to catch them. Hey, get over here. You had to pack thousands of ants up into your luggage and then carry it with you, knowing that there's thousands of ants alive walking around in your luggage. That's just, it's a slippery slope. And I wish that this would have had a better ending. And when I say better, I mean, I wish it would have been what I thought, a snakes on the plane situation, but with ants. That would have been a way cooler story. But aside from that not happening, this story to me is some bullshit. So I'm done with that one. That's some bullshit. It is. Ants. Okay. Ants. That's the best smuggle you can come up with nowadays is ants. We are living in the end times, folks, where we're smuggling insects. And like I said, I'm very curious about what would the purpose of that be. Like, are they supposed to set them out in the wild and then they kill something? Are they, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why you would do that, but I know there's a reason, and I'm assuming the reason has something to do with something nefarious that I just am not aware of that goes on all the time. I'm just not part of that world. I'm not part of the ant world, so I don't know why the hell anybody would smuggle thousands of ants. Like, are you not allowed to take ants places? I didn't know that ants were contraband, but apparently in Kenya, ants are contraband. So if you're going to Kenya, don't grab no ants and bring them back, okay? All right. So nonetheless, let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep this thing moving so we can get into our full discussion, because I know some people saw the thumbnail, and I'm sure YouTube didn't like it. If anybody saw the thumbnail, there was some choice lettering on there. I'll just say that. And YouTube doesn't like choice lettering. They have a good algorithm that can pick up on it. So I'm sure right now they're pissed at me, but they're allowing the live stream to go or continue to go. They tried to cut it off the first time. But y'all know how we do over here. This happens all the time when we start talking that real shit. So appreciate y'all for being there. Yeah, Purple Groovy tripping. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, if you catch me with some ants, just know it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Just know that whatever the deal was that I had to take to start that process, it was worth it. If you got me with a couple thousand ants in my luggage, I'm just saying. So let's get to this next situation here. This one is, I don't even know if I want to call it disturbing. It is, but it's also creepy. It's also
it's not
ridiculous. It's also not even surprising. So let me tell you what happened. So this guy who was a former hospital employee, right? Apparently he got caught up trying to mess with the kids. And you know I don't like when they mess with the kids. I don't like when anybody messes with the kids. So this guy apparently got caught up, and he had been messing with dozens of kids. I'll let y'all see the story. Hold on, let me bring this over here. Make sure I got the right situation going. Oh yeah, I got to share the screen. That's what I got to do. All right, let's share the screen. All right, y'all, check this story out.
A hospital worker is behind bars, accused of luring children for sex. Aaron Starbird is charged with coercing and enticing a child, and the FBI believes there are at least 30 children that he has victimized.
What?
Channel 9's Ashton Webb joins us live outside of the Seminole County Jail, where Starbird is in custody.
Oh, Seminole County. This is a WTF clip. For anybody that doesn't know, here at the Purge of the BS, WTF stands for, well, that's Florida. So apparently this is a Florida clip. So there's never a lack of surprises when it comes to the news that comes out of places in Florida, because people think they can hide. That's the problem. Florida's got a lot of open space. You can live like off the beaten path, as they would call it. And people think they can hide. They hide behind their keyboards. They hide behind the tree lines, but they hide in Florida. And that's why so much crazy stuff happens down there, is because there's a lot of places that people think that they're not seen. Apparently, this guy was not seen 30 times messing with the damn kids. Now, my question becomes, what's up with the parents of these 30 kids? Is it the same kid 30 times? That's different. But even then, what's up with the parents again? Like, how do you let your kids get around this dude? So let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens.
The FBI says one child reported Starbird had sex with him.
Yes, and we're learning that that victim lived not far from where the suspect did. We were in that community today where we saw kids running around, biking around after school. We spoke to parents who say they are shocked and very disturbed by these allegations. Much of the allegations, much of the details are too graphic to report.
But he got 30 shots.
According to this 11-page arrest affidavit, authorities first learned of Aaron Starbird last September when he began messaging who he thought was a 15-year-old boy, sending pictures exposing himself and saying what sexual acts he wanted to do with him. In reality, it was an Orange County deputy. When deputies confronted him, the affidavit says he told them he would not have relationships with juveniles once he learned their true age. The affidavit says when investigators gained access to Starbird's phone, they recovered more than 70 videos of child pornography, including of toddlers being...
Bury him under the jail. We don't even need a trial. Y'all found all of this stuff on his phone. He apparently had relations with an underage person. He was messaging with a 15-year-old or who he thought was a 15-year-old or who purported that they were a 15-year-old. He sent pictures of himself naked to said 15-year-old. Why do we need a trial? Anybody know? Why do we need a trial for this? I think we can skip right to sentencing on this one. I get it, due process, blah, blah. What's the due process? We got the evidence. We got the witness. We got what we need. What's the point of wasting court resources? Let's take him and put him under the jail. As a matter of fact, no, put him in general population. It'll be worse than being under the jail. When you mess with the kids and you go to jail for it, you do not get to have a good time. I said it last episode when they were talking about the guy that got beat up in the workshop with a metal pole. And he had unalived 2 10-year-old girls. This was a couple days ago we were talking about this. And I said, it is an unwritten rule in any prison, jail, penitentiary, whatever you want to call it, that the people who are in there on skin charges, specifically those that have to do with children, are not allowed to have a good time in jail. It's unwritten. And if you think you're going to go into a jail and nobody's going to find out, you're wrong, because they will take your paperwork and read it. So if you're one of those, you're not allowed to have a good time. If there is a good time to be had, you're not allowed to have a good time in jail. You will hate it because everyone in there will hate you because of what you came in there for. A lot of them have children, sisters, things like that. They don't play that. So this guy, whenever he gets to wherever he's going, he is not going to have a good time.
Sexually abused that Starbird exchanged with other people. The affidavit says investigators spoke to a teen who admitted to having sex with Starbird in 2024 when he was 14 years old. The child told investigators Starbird picked him up outside the teen's house after he snuck out after dark. The child says Starbird took him to his home not far from his, where he engaged in sexual acts. Investigators found Starbird also messaged the child about bringing one of his younger brothers. Starbird writing, "It has always been a fantasy to be with brothers." The report says there could be as many as 30 other victims. Starbird worked at South Lake Hospital in Claremont and previously Orlando Regional Medical Center.
Okay, all right. Let's bring it back here. Let's bring it back to let's put him up on the thing. So this guy apparently said that he had met with juveniles in person, but he would deny them once he learned their true age. So why are you meeting with someone thinking they're a certain age and then they say their age and then you would turn away? Why would you even take the time to meet up with a person that you thought was 14, 13, some of them 12 years old? You are a sick man, sir, Mr. Starbird. You're a sick person and you need some real help. And I guarantee when you get to the jail, there's some very helpful people there that will help you, okay? And they will make sure that you never forget the dumb shit that got you in there. And they will do their best to make sure that when you get out of there, if you make it out alive, that you never do it again. Because this is stupid shit that people do. And they don't think I didn't hear when they said he shared these things with people. So what's up with the other people? You gonna bring them in too? Because I think you should. If they haven't done anything yet, they probably will. If they're sharing this kind of content with each other of child porn, and I don't know if you're supposed to say that, but that's what they're sharing. with each other, grown men. All of them need to go to the jail. Everybody. Not just the guy that had it in his phone, but everybody he sent it to. Everybody who requested it and said, hey, send me that image of the little baby midget with the da-da-da, you know, whatever they were doing. I don't know what they were doing. I'm just saying. Everybody needs to go because we don't need these people. We don't need folks like this out here. We don't. But we keep slapping them on the wrist and then we send them back out there and maybe you write them on a registry or something. But this guy had 30 victims, meaning 30 different times somebody didn't say something, somebody didn't know what was going on, somebody wasn't paying attention to their own children and where they were going at night. Like, there's a lot of accountability here. I'm not going to just put it on this guy because he going to get it when he get to jail. So I ain't got to worry about him. I'm talking about the ones that he was sharing the information with who are still just out here walking free. You know what I'm saying? Still on their cell phones, searching the dark web for more images of this kind of stuff that this guy had. He's a creep. He looks like a creep. He has the whole creepy vibe going. But I don't like when they stop with the one person like this. Because they just said he shared this information with other people and was sending it out as far as like content. So who's requesting child porn content? All of y'all need to go to jail. Okay? For at least a weekend and let everybody know what you're in there for. And we'll see how you act on Monday. That's all I'm going to say. But I will say this. If I get my hands on anybody that's messing with the kids, I'm going to jail. It's as simple as that. They show me these stories, but I never run into these guys. Like I never run into a guy that did this. So me personally, this is the one line that I just cannot understand. I don't understand why they cross it. And I don't understand how they think that they can just live on after doing stuff like that, because people like myself would love nothing more than to let you know how much I disapprove of your behavior. Nonetheless, the fact that they only pulled this one guy up is a problem to me, and I don't like that. So that makes the entire story to me some bullshit. So I'm moving on to the next thing. I'm through with that guy. Through with him. Like, what do you do with that? They said they got other people that they know he talked to and sent things to. Why are none of their pictures up? Why are none of them in jail? All of them got to go. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody, the whole crew. We don't need none of them. I don't need none of them in traffic slowing shit down. I don't need them working nowhere where they're too close to the damn kids and that's what they use to mess with the kids. This guy was a hospital worker. You always hear about some teacher or a football coach or a dance instructor. It's always somebody that's going to be close to the kids anyway. So you got to watch all of them. Teachers, everybody. I don't trust none of them. I don't know what they be thinking about at home. I don't know if they're thinking about my child in a sexual way when they see my kid. So you got to watch everybody. That's all I'm saying. You got to watch everybody. Anyway, let me keep it going. Let me keep this going here because some of us may not know about what's going on overseas right now. So thank your lucky stars, as they would say, that you're able to currently use the internet. Because apparently over in Russia, they have shut down the internet in the interest of public safety, as they call it. So what they seem to believe is that a group of people are using propaganda to basically lie about situations that are going on in Russia and Iran. And so to keep people from seeing these so-called AI-generated images and fake news, they just shut the whole internet down. The only people that can use the internet is like the military in Russia. So we're going to bring that story up because that's interesting to me because we had an internet outage
Russian
recently.
Authorities have confirmed that they are...
Oh, sorry. We had an internet outage as they were testing what I call the censorship system. So they test the system to see if they can knock out communication. And what they did was they knocked out cellular communication over Wi-Fi. Okay. They knocked out the Wi-Fi as well, and that knocked out everything. No YouTube, no Facebook videos. Like, you couldn't see anything, even on your phone. And they did this in this area for about 12 hours. And I will tell you what, people freaked out. Like, people freaked out. And I know it's tough to imagine being literally cut off from the rest of the world. Not able to see anything new, not able to say anything to anybody else. The only thing you could do is possibly make a phone call to emergency, like a 911 call. But nothing else was working. And I'm telling you, people freaked out because they had never really been fully without. So I'll give you an example. If the cell phone goes down, like your cell phone's not working, but you can still turn on your TV and watch TV, right? Like, your cell phone network will be down, but your Wi-Fi will still be up. So you can still, jump on a computer or whatever, right? This was not that. This was everything was down. And they're testing it as a censorship system. If they have bad information going out, and it's going out real quick, they can just shut the whole internet down. So many countries, if you haven't heard, have been testing this out. I know that they had, I want to say Iran did that. They shut the internet down. Was it Palestine? It's one of them Palestine. Somebody shut the internet down in that group. And when they were doing the stuff in Gaza, they basically took out all the journalists, wouldn't let them broadcast. So they found a way to keep us from information by shutting down our communications. See, back in the day, you had, Morse code and radio waves and things that weren't digital, so that you couldn't just shut everything down all of a sudden. Now they do have that capability. So what we've sold in the way of convenience is a way for them to shut us down and keep us disconnected from everything. It's actually pretty scary. So they're doing this in Russia right now. And like I said, a lot of people don't notice it when it happens in the U.S. because they spot it. So it's like you'll be one area one day, another area the next day. And so you don't notice it. You just think, we just had a little internet outage. No, when it shuts all communication down, that's something totally different. That's when they're messing with the actual towers and messing with those, the servers that control the towers. So y'all need to pay attention because we are really on the brink of some crazy stuff. And what they want to do is when the crazy happens, they got to shut down the information transfer. So they've been testing this all over the world, if you've been paying attention. Everywhere all over the world, you've been hearing about internet being down, and not down because it's down, but like the government just shut it down, just turned it off for anybody who's in the subnet of the IP addresses in that country. I didn't know they could do that as a government, but apparently they can. So I'm gonna let y'all check out this story over here regarding the Russian folks, because I don't know if it's for public safety. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's really to control the information transfer as they're doing over here in the United States. So let's go into our Russia limitation of internet for public safety.
Russian authorities have confirmed that they are limiting internet connections in different areas of the country, especially in Moscow, as part of measures that the government says are aimed at ensuring citizen security.
What the hell was that? Citizen security. What was that, AI voice lady? Slipping.
Security. According to the Kremlin, the network outages and disruptions will continue for as long as necessary to address what it considers threats coming from Ukraine or Russia. Presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov explained that these measures respond to new forms of attack.
How do you get an AI to have an accent? How do you get the AI to have an accent? Because it's obviously AI narrating this, but the AI has an accent. So you got to train it to have an accent? I don't know. It just hit me while I was listening. And I'm like, when I type in a prompt, it just comes back with the robotic white lady voice. But this is a whole accent on an AI. It's actually kind of funny to me.
That Moscow claims the Ukrainian government is using. In this regard, he noted that the Kyiv regime is increasingly using preferred methods for its attacks, and response technologies are needed to guarantee the security of citizens, Reinans. For several days, many users have reported difficulties connecting to the internet through mobile phone operators in Moscow and other regions of the country.
Well, it sounds horrible.
The interruptions have caused other problems using everyday applications such as messaging services, ordering taxis, or ordering food online.
Oh, you can't get your DoorDash
Russian media
either?
also reported that some neighborhoods of the
DoorDash.
capital experienced total or partial outages of mobile internet, which generated numerous complaints from users. According to the specialized portal Kotrov, most reports of network failures were concentrated in central districts of Moscow, Odiko.
All
The
right,
authorities-
I gotta stop it. I gotta pause it here because I can't listen to this voice. It's driving me nuts. It is driving me nuts because the lady isn't even saying shit right. We get the point. They have an internet outage. They do mobile phones as well, and they're doing it in Russia for what they say is public safety. But what I want you to really understand on this is on the channel Millennial. Millennial has 8.21 million subscribers. Now, I know that's a whole different topic, but that channel with that shitty ass narration that we just listened to has 8 million, over 8 million subscribers. So maybe that's the only channel that a certain country has, and everybody's just subscribed to that channel. But if that's the quality of work that they putting out on an 8 million subscriber channel, then you know what? There's no hope for the world. There isn't. You got 8 million subscribers. Please do better. You don't even have to use the accented AI. Like, you can use regular English because she's speaking English. But instead, you use the accent AI to make it sound, I guess, authentic or whatever the hell that is. That's dumb as shit to me. But back to the point. So Russia, among other countries, because Russia's not the only one, this is just who they're talking about right now, has started these new brownouts, as we'll call them, where they basically just shut down mobile communication, or at least slow it way, way, way down. So you can't stream video. You can't go live on any platform at all. You can't watch video. You can't watch a live stream. You can't interact with people. You can't hit a chat messenger. Like, they found a way to cut us off from everything, and they're doing it all over the world. So what that means is they found a way to cut the whole world off from itself. The one thing that was helping us is transparency. One thing that assists us in making our own objective decisions is being able to see things and see them in real time. We're not just hearing the story, we're looking at a video. And they started messing with that because it was like, well, maybe the video is AI. And now we've got good sensors that can tell if something is actually AI. And really quickly, by the way. So if something comes out, it goes viral, but it is AI, you'll find a fact check pretty fast about it. But what if there is no fact check? What if the AI comes out and then they shut down the communication for the fact check? So you start thinking things are, really going on that aren't. Like, there was recently a video of Netanyahu being pulled from the rubble of an explosion, and they said he was deceased. And I don't know if he was or he wasn't, but that particular video was AI generated, and it looked real. Then they had the same guy talking to folks, doing a speech, and it looked like him, but then all of a sudden he had 6 fingers on one of his hands. And then it's like, well, hold on, how many of his speeches are AI? So it's very hard to tell the difference between the truth and the AI lie. And Russia, among other countries, is trying to find ways to just shut down the information transfer before it becomes viral, before you're able to talk about it. So that's a very dangerous place for any government to be, is to be able to shut down communication between all of the citizens. and communication with the outside world of its citizens. It's a military takeover because only the military will be able to use the internet. So I'm telling y'all right now, keep an eye out for this. If you haven't already experienced it in your area, they're testing everything out right now. They tested out the emergency system, I want to say it was about a year ago, and they wanted to basically check and see if they could send an alert to everyone at the same time on all mobile devices. And they did that, meaning they have the ability to take over that entire network of all mobile devices and Wi-Fi if you think your Wi-Fi is safe. It's not safe. Maybe Starlink might be your option for those that are looking for something that's a little more secure. Starlink is supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be, you can kind of get it anywhere, but I don't believe it'll never be hacked. And I do understand that it's under the same rules as all the other mobile carriers and all the other Wi-Fi. So whatever they're using to cut that shit out, they'll use it to cut Starlink out too, if they need to. It's actually, like I said, we just go about our lives, right? And we don't think about the fact that there is a whole nother plane of existence, is what I call it. It's a plane of existence that exists that we have absolutely no say-so over. We just live within it. We're aware that it exists, but we have no vote in it, no, nothing. We have no input. So if you do not believe me when I'm telling you what is going on right now, then you're a fool, because that means you haven't been paying attention. This is going on. And it's not just the U.S. dealing with it. If you've watched, it's the entire world acting the same way. Cutting off internet, talking about fake news, trying to cover up pedophilia, because that's what seems to always happen at the top, is some pedophilia shit, which at this point, we know that's what goes on up there. I don't need no more Epstein files to tell me that. I already know what y'all do. I do know that there's some truth in people hooking up other people's blood to them so that they can be young, or at least they think they can be young. That's a sick group up there. And if you're not part of that group, you don't understand why they do some of the shit they do. Because you have a rational, normal person's moral mind. But if you're at that different plane, they don't think the same as us. Because they have the power to shut down the entire communication of a region. I can shut down communication on my Wi-Fi at my house. Like I can disconnect a device from that, but I can't disconnect everybody's Wi-Fi in my neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? These people can disconnect whole regions from communicating. That's a lot of power, and people get a little bit corrupted when they have that kind of power. And that's why I'm telling y'all, you gotta watch out. They don't give a damn about y'all. Y'all are just, taxpayers, and you're basically just a resource like a battery, like a utility. So you gotta watch out for these people. I'm telling you, they're out here, they're looking for you, and they're expecting you to say something that'll get you locked up for saying something. Because overseas, you can't even speak out about the government. Like if you don't like the government, you will get shot for not liking the government. You say something against their governments, and this is in other places, not here, at least not yet, and you will literally be taken out. They'll say you're a public disturbance, and you're a nuisance to society, and they'll take you out. So if you think the U.S. ain't going to do that kind of stuff, you're foolish, because they're working on it. They gotta be slow with it. You can't just throw it all on us at one point, because we'll revolt, and there's a lot of people. So they got to slowly move in. They have to use the phrase divide and conquer. So they keep us arguing about some dumb shit while they move around the back and flank us. And then at the end of it, we're just caught with whatever they flanked us with, and we can change nothing. So I think you need to be paying attention, folks. Once they stop you from communicating, they can put whatever information in your head they want, because you can't find any way to refute it because you can't communicate. So keep that in mind, because Russia's doing it, U.S. doing it, China did it already, Ukraine has done it already, Israel did it already. There's a lot of places that have done this. I think a couple of the African nations did the same. shut the whole internet down. So the whole world knows how to do this now. So where are you going to be the next time it shuts down? Because if you're not prepared, then you already know that is definitely some bullshit. Definitely. Purple Groovy, you know what I'm saying. If they threw it all at us at one time, people would revolt. And there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of people with guns. And most of the folks that are in the decision-making seats, they soft. You know what I'm saying? They're soft. They're not ready for no gun battle with the citizenry. They'll send the military to deal with that shit or the National Guard. But the folks that are sitting in those seats and making these rules and laws are not the people that will be outside fighting. So it's easy for them to make these kind of rules because at the end of it, they don't have to go enforce them. They have law enforcement to do that. So I could come up with a law, and once it's the law, there's another group that has to go deal with it, even though I'm the one that wrote it. So all of them softies in DC that are doing this, that are doing the bullshit, we know who you are. You soft. That's why you never really out in the public like that. Soft. And if you ever bring enough bullshit to the American people, we will revolt. And you do not, I don't care, because the military is still our people. Some of the military members are our family members. You think my family member is going to come kill the family? Nope. They'll be revolting too. So you better watch who you're playing with. That's all I'm going to say on that. So anyway, let's keep it going. We're almost done. We are almost done because now we are going to get into the discussion. The discussion that has to be had. It started as a simple discussion about a week ago when I was having a conversation with a friend of mine regarding the N-word, right? And the pass that we give to people for the N-word. And I was asking, like, is it okay for everyone to just use the N-word now since we're trying to, like, get rid of racism? Maybe we can take the power from the N-word by letting everyone use it. And my friend said, no, that's bullshit, because not everybody is using it from the right place in their heart, if that makes sense. And I don't just mean the hard R or the A at the end. Some people, when they utilize the term, what is the thought that's in their head? I will say this, for black people, the N-word, when you say nigga as a black person, it doesn't really have a specific connotation because it's just a word. Like this nigga, you see what I'm saying? It just really means this person, this guy. When you say it as other cultures, because it has a different connotation, it doesn't sit as well with me. And I get it. It's just a word. It's just a word. I know. It's just syllables and sounds and shit. But the inference that came from it when they used it originally had to do with calling black people ignorant savages. That's what niggers were. And I put the R on it on purpose. It was ignorant savages. That's why they say the word nigger means ignorant. They forget the second part, which was savages. 3/5 of a human. You understand what I'm saying? So when certain cultures use that word and that is the root of it, it's hard for me to hear it. Okay? So I'm not saying that I don't understand that the N-word is just words, and if we don't want racism to take over, then we should be less sensitive to that word. But I just don't like when people use that word in certain contexts. There are ways to use the word that don't necessarily denote insult. And then there's other ways to use the word that do denote insult. Well, this artist, and I had to pause for a second before I use the term artist. There's a particular artist who's going viral right now for making a song called White Nigga. That is his song. It is literally is the title, White Nigga. Okay? And this was sent to me because I said something about maybe we shouldn't care much about the N-word. And I was sent this to say, you know, Do you care or do you not care? So I'm going to let y'all hear a snippet of this because we're close to the end of the show, so I'm not worried about my copyright issue right now. They're already going to be mad about when I was talking about the guy messing with the kids. They don't like that. For some weird reason, it's like the pedos are a damn protected group. You can't even talk about them. And really, that's a choice group right there that we need to be talking about. So nonetheless, let me go and check this story out here. And I'll let y'all make the decision, okay? I'm going to let y'all see a snippet of this thing. And you can tell me if it's offensive, if it's cultural appropriation, if it's flattery. Y'all can tell me how you feel, okay? All right, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because that might help it from getting caught too quick.
Everybody tripping on the word nigga, man. Nigga this, nigga that. I guess I'm a white nigga. Shit, you probably met a couple white niggas just like me. I'm up early in the morning cause this bread don't bake itself. Turn my music up and listen if you trying to make some wealth. Keep a pistol on my hip so no, my waist don't need no belt. 20,000 that I made last night just laying on the shelf.
All right, I'm going to stop that right there. I've had enough already, but I will allow it to continue in a moment. But let me just say, pausing on the butt cheeks was not my initial intent. I see some of you guys can see a butt cheek in the lower part of the screen. That was not the intent. The point I'm trying to make here is somebody must have called him the N-word, and then he has now adopted this. But are we okay with this? Is he highlighting niggardry as a good thing? Because it seems like he's only pulling from the negative pieces of the stereotype. You know, he's got the money and he's got the half-naked woman in the bed. Like, that's what niggas are to you? Is just money flashing, hoes in the bed. That's it. So to you, it's just an ignorant savage that don't have no home training, because that's what you look like. Anyway, let's let it continue. I can't believe I'm even covering this. Like, it takes some thick skin to let this dude just sit here and just use language that you know is not appropriate at all. Okay.
Couple hundred on my neck, another 50 on my finger. Been a nigga my whole life, but now you trip that I say nigga. How you figure? It's okay to say when I'm bumping some jigger. Turn the music off and now it's racist. What the fuck's the difference, nigga? Nigga, look, notice no R's, no why? Cause I put both of them bitches on my cars. Bitch, I'm busy making money, got no time for hate, nigga. Red, white, and blue, only colors that I claim, nigga.
Okay, I gotta pause that again. I don't really know how to take this because I feel like he's empowered right now. I feel like he's been empowered. He said the word once and like didn't get in trouble for it, and then people gave him a pass, and now he's just empowered to use it in this ridiculous way. Like, this song exists, and this guy's a big, you know, he's like I wanted to say like not a conservative rap artist, but he's like a MAGA rap artist, basically, right? And nobody seems to have any issue with him doing this. Nobody. At least I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe I haven't looked far enough in the comments, but the comments on the video was like, yo, this is fire, you know, and anybody can, you know, First Amendment, you can say what you want, that whole thing. They ran that route for a little bit. And I have to ask the question, is imitation what he's doing? Is he imitating a character, or is this his character and somebody called him a nigga and he said, you know what, I guess I'm a white nigga then? See, that's where the problem happens, because a nigga's not a color. It's an ignorant savage. You understand what I'm saying? So if you call yourself a white nigga, that means that you are still differentiating yourself on the basis of race. You either a nigga or you're not. You understand what I'm saying? You're either a real nigga or you're not a real nigga. You see what I'm saying? Not a real white nigga, or you see, y'all get it. The point I'm trying to make is, if it wasn't racially based, he would have never put the word white in front of it. He would have just been a nigga. And he don't want to just be a nigga. He got to be a white nigga. So somehow that differentiates him from the niggardry of the non-white nigga. if that makes any sense at all. I don't know. Hold on a second. I need to pause here because I need y'all to take that in. If it wasn't racially motivated, he would have never put the word white in front of nigga. It would have just been nigga. Right? So even in his inclusivity, he still showed the race card and looked like a freaking idiot, because if you're not racially motivating it, then why is you a white nigga? Because all black people aren't niggas. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact that you put that there means that's what you think. And the only thing that differentiates you is your white skin. So you think all black people are niggas. And you just happen to be a white version of that. That sounds like some crap to me. Sounds like some crap to me. I don't know. Am I missing it here? Are y'all understanding what I'm saying here? Because he's using the term to say, fuck racism. Only colors I represent is red, white, and blue, that whole thing, right? But if that's the case, then you shouldn't have said white nigga. You should have just been a nigga. If you think you all inclusive and we don't see color, then why you put white in front of it? You're a hypocrite, sir. That's what you are. But I'll let another bar or two play, just to be fair, because some people like his music, apparently. So I'm letting y'all listen to it, so you can have your own opinion on it, okay?
Bro, you can say nigga if you white nigga. I tell them word. I say any word I like, nigga. Fuck what you heard, bitch. I hustle my whole life, nigga. I'm a different type, nigga. Guess I'm just a white nigga. But they tell me, bro, you can't say nigga if you white nigga. I tell them word. I say any word I like, nigga. Fuck what you heard, bitch. I hustle my whole life, nigga. I'm a different type, nigga. Guess I'm just a white nigga. But
so what did he just go take all of the stereotypes? So we're gonna be in this expensive car, but drinking out of styrofoam cups and shit. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You're culturally appropriating some bullshit, is what I'm saying. Black culture's trying to get away from this perspective. In a general sense, yeah, y'all see the dumb shit on the media and all that, but if you look at real black people in mass, yeah, you're gonna have some niggas, but you're gonna have some people actually who are, productive citizens, working people, CEOs, business owners, all types of shit that are not doing what this guy's doing. They're not flossing around, and they're damn sure not in a Rolls Royce drinking out of styrofoam cups. The fuck is you doing? It doesn't even make sense to me. People that have Rolls Royces, I know nobody that has a Rolls is watching my show. But I know for a fact that if you have a Rolls, you're not going to disrespect it by having some open styrofoam cup in the back seat. So you can hit a bump and spill that shit all over the nice leather seats. You're not going to do this. So this is all just for play. It's cosplay. It's literally cosplay. And somebody invested money in this. I don't know who. Obviously, this nigga did. But somebody else was like, yo, this is the song. Some engineer had to sit there and mix that shit down. And the guy was probably black. And we had to sit there and listen to that shit for 4 to 6 hours while he was trying to mix it down to make it sound professional, so that they could put out this bullshit video and just say what? I'll let them continue. Like I said, I don't know. Y'all might think I'm being sensitive about the shit, but I'm thinking he's like overdoing the niggardry. Because to him, this is what niggas do. They drive flashy cars, they drink out of styrofoam cups, they got half-naked ladies in the bed, they flash money and shit. The whole stereotype. He just took the stereotype, said, this is what I do too, and that makes me like you. Except I'm a white nigga. So don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, if we all in a lineup, we won't get mixed up. They know which one's the white guy and which one's not. Anyway, I'll let them finish. But like I said, I don't like this. Because they say that the most sincere form of flattery is imitation. Is this flattery?
they tell some haters say I cannot rap. Made a meal off MAGA rap. Then I made another mill, then 2 million after that. And I can keep on counting, but you get the point, nigga. And I'll keep saying nigga till they get the point, nigga. Pulling up at the light, and they stop and point, nigga. Wrap my whole trunk with Trump just to trigger soy, niggas. Bitch, my bank account grown, you still some little boy, niggas. $500,000 cars, what I call my toys, nigga. Okay, now I'm done, son of y'all. Now run along like from the law. Acting like I need a pass, like I'm your fucking son-in-law. Nah, I don't need nobody's blessing, nigga. This ain't school, you test me in the answer Smith and Wesson, nigga. But they tell me blow you.
All right, see, he's just putting the word nigga on there just to put it on there. Like, it don't have to be there. He was rhyming the word nigga, meaning you rhyming the same word over and over and over again. Now, granted, I've seen other rappers do this. I've seen Killer Mike do it. I've seen T.I. do it and shit. I've seen other rappers do this, okay? So it's not even a new concept you're using. So you're biting off of somebody else's concept, biting off a whole nother stereotype, at least what you say you think the stereotype is, because he was also rolling around in a Trump, he's a MAGA rapper. And that's even confusing, because MAGA probably does not want you running around saying that. At least not the way you are. He's trying to say it almost, I hate to say it, but he's trying to say it as almost a unifying message. But it doesn't seem to be unifying. This is as unifying as Kanye's Heil Hitler song, right? People were like, what the fuck are you saying, Kanye? Why are you doing that? And Kanye's saying, well, if they can say this, I can say whatever. He makes a point, but people don't want to hear that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine there's a bunch of white guys singing along with this, and they're using the N-word singing along with it, and somebody pulls up next to them, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? And then they're like, well, no, I'm listening to D-Lo B-Lo, or whatever his name was, and he's white, and he's saying nigga, so we're just reciting the words. It blurs the lines of acceptability. But honestly, in today's world, there's been a lot of lines of unacceptability being crossed lately. This is unacceptable, okay? I don't know this guy personally, and no, I don't want to fucking fight him or anything like that, but I just want him to know this is bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got money, obviously, and you got some type of talent. You made $2 million off of MAGA rap. Nowhere in the MAGA rap catalog where you got your 2 million was this song. Because the MAGA base would not have liked this song. They wouldn't have gave you that 2 million. You would have been they'd have called you a wannabe. And a nigga lover too. And you would have never had a career. So don't come over here now spitting the N-word and all that kind of shit when that's not what you was doing when you first started your rap thing. Okay? Don't come over here with that. We don't need it. We got enough black rappers saying the nigga all the time. We don't need white people saying that they're niggas too. Because then it's going to be nigga, 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 nigga everywhere. And I'm tired of niggas, personally. White or black. See, because to me, niggas don't have a color. Niggas a mentality. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I never call somebody a white nigga or a black nigga. They just niggas. And whatever color they happen to have is the one they got. But this is some bullshit. But a lot of people said in the comments that they feel, you know, his love for the culture and all of that. Is this love for the culture? Using the term nigga like 1,000 times in the song, is that the culture? That's not the goddamn culture. You're not going to even lie to me and try to tell me that's the culture. This is bullshit. But along with much of the other rap these days, it's a lot of bullshit. So you got this bullshit, you got that bullshit, you got a lot of bullshit to choose from. I guess pick your poison. But I'm going to tell you right now, this particular guy does not deserve a forum because he's exploiting the people. There's no other way to say it. He's exploiting the people. Because now the people are confused. Because now they're like, well, can I say it? I mean, this guy said it. Can I walk around in public with my 3 cups and call people niggas? And I would let you know this. No, you can't do that. And honestly, I don't see how he did it. But I will say there's not a lot of people in the video with him either. You know what I'm saying? Like normally you got a whole entourage of folks and they support the video and they're pumping and, you know, they're throwing their hands and shit like that. That's not a lot of that going on. There's a couple people washing this truck that might have been black people, actually. I don't know. I might go back to that and look at it. But what are you supposed to do when this is considered talent? And we, as the black population, are supposed to be, according to the comments, we should be happy that he's doing this and should be offering a sense of unity for this. And I would suffice to say that's some shit, some bullshit, is what I mean. We don't have to accept this. We don't have to accept a lot of things, but we definitely don't have to accept this. And I'm not talking about just black people, just people in general. We don't have to accept trash music no more. We have had at least a good 10 to 15 years of bullshit music coming out. At some point, we're going to have to say, all right, enough is enough. Enough is enough with this shit. This guy really came out with a song called White Nigga, and it's trending and probably going to end up with a billboard spot by the time it's over with. Why? Because he was bold enough to use the N-word. But he's not even saying it the way that y'all be saying it. He's calling himself a nigga. But the problem is he put the color in front of it, which means to me that he thinks he would be set aside differently as a nigga because he's a white nigga. And that's not true. Real niggas get the same treatment wherever they go. They know who you are. The real ones know who you are. The fake ones was probably the ones washing this freaking truck in that video. Let me let it finish out.
You can say nigga if you white nigga. I tell them word. I say any word I like nigga. Fuck what you heard, bitch. I hustle my whole life nigga. I'm a different type nigga. Guess I'm just a white nigga, but they tell me so. You can say nigga if you white nigga. I tell them word. I say any word I like nigga. Fuck what you heard, bitch. I hustle my whole life nigga. I'm a different type nigga. Guess I'm just a white nigga, but they tell me.
Okay, so we get the point. So he had a black guy driving, which was the guy they showed at the end. But as you notice, there wasn't a lot of people in the video. So I suffice to believe that maybe he didn't have the support with this idea that he wants to portray that he had. Because most rap videos, if you want to be like the niggas have an entourage. They got their peoples in the video. You might even get grandma dancing in the corner or something in one of the shots. Niggas keep their peoples around. He didn't have no peoples around, meaning people were not supportive of this idea. So, like I said, I can see through the bullshit. That's why I can have this conversation with y'all. I can tell people did not support this idea because they weren't there. Who doesn't want to show up for the damn video shoot? Like when you hear there's a video shoot, oh, this video shoot, you just want to be caught standing around at the video shoot. He didn't even tell nobody about that. Why? Because if he'd have gone to any major city and attempted to perform this out in the street, they would have knocked his fucking head off. So he's smart enough to know better than to do that. I don't know where he's from. I don't care. What I'm saying is I can look at the evidence and real recognize real. You knew what not to do, sir. You definitely pressed the envelope, but you knew what neighborhood to not put that envelope in. Everywhere you was walking, there was nobody else around. You was on the streets, nobody was there. You knew what you was doing. And you are a white nigga. You're an ignorant white person, apparently. Because that was ignorant for you to take your career and put it on the line to put this dumbass message out. Because it wasn't about unification. You were just mad because somebody told you can't say it. That's what you said in the song. Tell me I can't say it, I can say what I want. Okay, so you not even about the cause, nigga. Since you want to be called a nigga, I call you one. You're not even about the cause. You just doing the shit because somebody told you couldn't, and you just pressing the envelope until somebody punches you in the face over it. And as long as you stay away from people, you're not going to get punched in the face for it. And you'll just walk around broadcasting this bullshit with your 3 cups, 3 styrofoam cups. Like, get you a goblet, nigga. You in a Rolls Royce. Get you a goblet with some jewels on it so you look like a fucking king. But no, you want to look like a street nigga in this beautiful ass vehicle. You look like an idiot to me. That's what you look like to me. You look like an idiot, and that is some bullshit that he even thought he could come out here and throw this online and that we would follow it. I'm having a real issue because I'm like, somebody should have been the voice of reason around there, and nobody was the voice of damn reason. Everybody just let him do the shit and was like, that's hot. Y'all is soft. Y'all is soft. And honestly, he needs some people around him that are not a bunch of yes men. He needs some real folks around, because you don't have to do this. You have a career. You could possibly ruin your entire career with this dumbass song that wasn't even worth it. You see what I'm saying? So somebody should have told him, this is a bad idea. I'm sure somebody told Kanye Heil Hitler was a bad idea, but Kanye don't listen to nobody, so it makes sense. But this guy's still kind of new on the scene. He's only really known because he was doing the MAGA rap thing for Trump. So how do you go from that to now you the white nigga? You're going to lose your base. And I hope you do, because you need to learn a lesson. And the lesson is very simple. The lesson is that song, that concept, your look and your thought of what niggas are, because you apparently think all black people are niggas, that is some bullshit. I'm going to move to the next one. Purple Groovy, you got to forgive me here, because I'm keeping it calm. But let me just be honest. I'm very offended by that concept in that video. Because he said the reason he was doing it was because somebody told him he couldn't. Not because he recognizes the struggle of black people or what black people go through or the companionship of trying to unify the races. None of those things. Just because somebody said, you can't do that. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it. And who's going to stop me? Not y'all niggas. That's what he said in his head. And no, y'all niggas didn't stop him. It made it to my timeline, meaning nobody stopped it. I should have never seen that shit. It should have never made it. And we let it make it. I don't like it. So in kind of hindsight, the conversation about cultural appropriation, it's a simple question. If a rapper is white, is he culturally appropriating black culture, or is he a true fan of the urban culture that formed hip hop? And I think that remains to be seen from artist to artist. Like this dude we just watched, I don't put him in the same realm as like Eminem. I think Eminem can rap real good. But I was a little surprised the first time I heard him use the N-word. I think I heard it in one song and I was like, what the fuck? Even though he could body most rappers in a freestyle battle. But does that earn this? No, it doesn't. And I think to this day, Eminem is still leery of utilizing that word, because when he did before, people didn't like it. Even people that liked him were like, yo, no, don't do that. You're a visitor over here, bro. Stop. And that's the same thing I feel about this guy. I forgot what his name was. What was his name again? I'm going to find his name one more time. It was something Manilow or something. Forgiato Blow. Forgiato Blow. Whatever that means. So for those of y'all that want to hear the song at regular speed, you can go and waste your 3 minutes of real time doing that. The song is called White Nigga by Forgiato Blow. I call it That Bullshit by Forgiato Blow. Okay? So the last piece we're going to get into had to do with something very similar, because people said that this guy was taking over Tom McDonald's spot. Now, if you don't know who Tom McDonald is, I'm not a Tom McDonald fan. I don't like all of his music or anything like that. I know who he is, though. He wears these long-ass braids, and he's a white guy, right? And he raps, but he raps white. if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't seem like he's trying to be something other than what he actually is. I don't think he calls himself a white nigga. We're going to find out if Tom MacDonald actually does. I don't think so. Tom MacDonald sounds like a white guy rapping, kind of like how Kid Rock used to sound when he was rapping, right? It's like, we get it, you're rapping, but you sound like you're supposed to sound doing it. You don't sound like you're trying to be a white nigga like this other guy. And I don't know, he probably does talk like that. He probably has a bunch of black friends and all that kind of stuff, but his black friends weren't invited to the damn video shoot. I'll tell you that much. His black friends did not come to the video shoot for white nigga. Why? Because somebody was going to call them on that. Like, yo, what is you doing over there? You letting him do all that and nobody's saying nothing. So let's get to our last segment here, since we're talking about cultural appropriation. And I want to show you the difference between cultural appropriation and what I would call somebody who has a genuine, I'm not going to just say a love for the culture, but a genuine talent that goes beyond racial lines, right? And like I said, I'm not a big Tom MacDonald fan, but I like what he does because he does it the way he's supposed to do it. Like the way you expect a rock star white dude with a freaking piercing across his nose to sound in a rap song. So that's the question. Is that cultural appropriation? What the other guy did, is that cultural appropriation? And not only is it, but is it offensive appropriation? Or are we happy to see that the lines are being crossed by our Caucasian counterparts? I don't know. Y'all can tell me in the chat, but I'm going to get to this Tom MacDonald song because now everybody's mad about Tom MacDonald because he said that somebody was the Antichrist, and apparently you can't talk about God much anymore without being considered like an anti-Semite or some shit, which is totally crazy to me, but that's what they do to you. They tell you that you can't say anything because once you say something, you are anti-something. So Tom MacDonald comes out with this song called Anti, right? Like a couple days ago, maybe yesterday. I don't know. It hit the web yesterday, right? And these people went nuts over this song. And I don't mean nuts in a good way. I mean nuts in a bad way. Like they were talking about he's blaspheming and all types of shit. So I'm going to let y'all hear what this guy said because they were up in arms about what Tom MacDonald said, but nobody had nothing to say about Figolito Blow Blow, whatever that dude's name was. Ain't nobody said shit. So let's see what Tom MacDonald had to say and let's see if this is more offensive than the white nigga song that we just covered. Just let's take a moment here. And we're just going to step through this real quick.
They a bunch of Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They anti-Christ.
All right, I'm going to pause that right there. Now, granted, the images are kind of dark. Very Satan looking. It's got the red, the black. He's all in black. But he was talking about lawmakers, Congress people being pedophiles and that they're the anti-Christ. And people are up in arms about this message, but not the one from the white nigga song. No, they just breeze over that one. But this, he can't say that politicians are pedophiles. So they're mad that he identified that. But let's all be honest here. If we haven't learned anything the last few months, is that most of the upper level politicians either are pedophiles, know pedophiles, or been to a pedophile's house, knowing that the motherfucker was a pedophile. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to see, where is your rage? Are you mad at Tom MacDonald for his anti-Christ song? Because that's where all of the talk is going, is to this song and not the other one I just played for y'all. Are our priorities a little messed up? I would have to agree. They are. So let's see what we got.
Anti-American, they anti-Christ. It ain't left and right no more, cause now it's good and evil. They used to call it a conspiracy, but now it's real. We seen the files and the facts, don't care how you feel. They having pizza parties, and that means they eating people. It's my
God damn, he said they eating people. You hear this shit? So apparently they're upset by this. Maybe he's putting out their secrets. But I want you to hear his delivery sounds like a white guy rapping. So it doesn't sound offensive to me at all. It sounds like a white guy rapping his song. He's saying what he's got to say, and he's not using the N-word or any real derogatory words, and he's honestly stating a point. His point has to do with the elites, eating people, babies, all that kind of shit. This actually has a way bigger meaning than the other song. But instead of taking this one and saying, you know what, he's got a good message, they're mad at this guy for making this song and not mad at the other guy for making the other song. So this is part of our problem, guys. This is it. We have misdirected anger. And when I say we have misdirected anger, I don't mean we personally have it. I think what we're doing is we're misdirecting where anger should go. And they do it by changing the narratives of how people are seen and viewed. So they can tunnel vision you into thinking that Tom McDonald is a goddamn Satanist. Because why? You see the black and the red, and they could take a clip where he's saying something about antichrist, and they'll be like, Tom McDonald's the antichrist. And then some idiot will believe that shit and run with it. They playing with you right in your face. They play with you right in your face. They allow people to come out with songs called White Nigga, and nobody says nothing. But then Tom McDonald comes out with a song identifying how many of our Congress people are pedophiles, and they tell him, they saying he needs to be canceled. For what? For telling the truth? Apparently, yes, for telling the truth. I asked it a question, but that was rhetorical. That was honestly a rhetorical question because I know for a fact that they do not want anybody talking about this stuff. That's why they kept trying to cover up this Epstein thing, and they've been trying to cover up people messing with the children for quite some time. That's why we had to get a damn registry. They cover it up. They pay for sex crimes in Congress. Sexual harassment allegations. They pay people off. They don't tell us about it. There's a bunch of sexual damn limp dick deviants hanging out down there. And we elected them. Now, granted, during the campaign trail, they're not telling us, hey, if you let me get elected, I'm going to mess with your kids. But we put these people here. So what does that say about us? Do we have a tendency to gear ourselves or gravitate ourselves towards pedophiles? I don't think so. But it seems like they're the ones that keep ending up in power, and we're the ones that keep putting them there. So if the shoe fits, you got to wear it. So it's partially their fault, but it's partially our fault for letting dumbass narratives break through. Tom McDonald is not the freaking Antichrist. Now, granted, he kind of looks weird. He's got the piercings, he's got the weird hair, but that's not the Antichrist. He's making a song about how our government is the Antichrist, is the anti-Antichrist, which is like the double Antichrist. So technically that would be like you're for Christ if you're against. Nonetheless, that's confusing for some. I'm not even going to try to get into it. But the point I'm trying to make is they told me that Tom McDonald is a Satanist and then sent me this song to try to prove that. And I said, well, this isn't even what he's talking about. Now, if you turn the sound off and you can't hear anything and you're just looking at the images, you might believe that bullshit. You might. And it's not your fault. But you have to open your ears and listen to what the man is saying, and he's saying something totally different that has nothing to do with him worshiping Satan. Meanwhile, this other guy made a song called White Nigga that had everything to do about the so-called stereotypical nigga, and nobody has a problem with it. But y'all got a problem with him talking about the pedos. I see where the loyalty lies. I see it. You don't mind if black people get punched while they're down. You don't mind if Latinos get punched while they're down. You don't mind any of that as long as you don't get punched. And in order to avoid that punch, you're willing to sacrifice the truth. That's crazy to me. They will sacrifice the truth, like you can't get the truth, just so they don't get punched in the face, basically. Just so they don't get the repercussions for the dumb shit that they did on that island or on the ranch or whatever. They will literally change your perception of what's good and what's bad so that they can mold your mind to believe some dumb shit that they have come up with for you to believe. And I, for one, am not part of that. That's why y'all see the Matrix lines and shit in here. This is the Matrix. The movie The Matrix was based on stuff like this. They change what you think, what you see, your perception, and they can have their fucking way with you. As can he. And when I say as can he, I'm talking about the devil, is what I mean. So, nonetheless, what we do know is we're getting nothing but bad information filtered through lately. And they're pushing narratives through bots, AI, and shit like that. When you're on these forums, you're on X, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. They're pushing narratives directly to you based on what they think you need to hear. Notice I didn't say what you like to hear. If you've already established a bunch of narratives on your own page, they see that and they feed you more of that shit. Even if you're wrong, they'll just feed you more people who are wrong about the same thing. So then you think you're right. They're messing with your brain. And you're not going to mess with my brain because I got a very strong brain and I know the difference between cultural appropriation and when somebody's actually just performing their music. Tom MacDonald is a performer. He stands on the shit that he says. And in most of his songs, if you listen, there's some sort of a unifying message flowing through it somewhere. Something where it's us versus them. And I don't mean black versus white. I mean like regular people versus the elites. That's how Tom MacDonald likes to put things. And I respect that. I don't like his music because he sounds whack to me as far as like an artist. His delivery's whack to me, but his message is good. You see what I'm saying? So I'll never say he's a shitty artist. I'm just going to say I don't really like his music. But he's not a shitty artist. And he's not the Antichrist, as they're trying to put him out to be right now. Meanwhile, they're letting this other guy do this whole white nigga thing. But we're not even going to talk about that because that, of course, is also some bullshit. So here's the question, guys. Here's the real question. If you profit from the culture, is it your responsibility to protect the culture? So if you're a white rapper and you profit from rapping, is it your responsibility to protect black culture because that was where you cut your teeth? I don't think so. We've already seen historically that there's a certain group of people that do whatever they have to do to take over certain shit. And they take over certain shit. They take over land. They take over countries. Black people have taken over sports. But you know why that was? It was because at some point people weren't letting them play. And so they got so determined to beat these people out that they had to let them play because they were way better. When they got into baseball, we was hitting home runs and shit. They wasn't even doing all that. So black people made sports more exciting to watch. And that's why the sports world is there's so much money in it. Look at how many black athletes are on a football team. I'll give you a perfect team. Let's go with Green Bay, the Packers. That's in Wisconsin. Green Bay, Wisconsin is not a black area, but 90% of their football team is black guys. They know who to get when they want to watch somebody run around. They know who to get when they want to be entertained. So is a football player who's white, like a white running back, is he culturally appropriating black running backs? No, he's just a fucking running back, getting tackled just like everybody else. That's about as even a playing field as you get, unless you're the quarterback. The quarterback gets babied, and most times the quarterback is white. Nowadays, you can get all types of quarterbacks. You can get a Hispanic quarterback, you can get a white one, black one, you can get a Hawaiian, Samoan quarterback. You can get all types of quarterbacks now. But there was a time when the quarterback was always a white guy, and he was always protected by a line that was full of big white guys, and he was always being attacked by a bunch of defensive guys that were normally black guys. It was almost as if the football situation was trying to mimic life. The protected white man in the middle, protected by other white people, being chased down by black people who can't touch them. Because when they do, they get a penalty. I know that's a lot for some of y'all to digest. It's like it's late at night, your brains ain't working. But think about what we're looking at here. They'll blur the lines for the sake of making money. And then when one day we say we don't like that, then they'll say, well, such and such was doing it. And such was doing it, so you didn't say anything when they were doing it. Why are you saying something now? So imagine all the white people start walking around just using the term nigga. I'm a white nigga. Don't be mad at me when I use the term nigga. I'm a white nigga. And they start saying that shit. We can't allow this. The world is already moving in the wrong direction anyway. We can't allow this. We can't allow the cultural appropriation to continue to where the appropriation is only of the worst. You know what I'm saying? The worst stereotype we have. Think about it like this. When you say to a black guy, he's acting white, or he's something like that, what does that normally mean? It normally means he's well-spoken. It normally means he's highly educated. It normally means the motherfucker's got a decent job. You know what I'm saying? So acting white means you're a productive citizen, basically, is what they say. And then when you say somebody's acting black, what are they talking about? They talk ignorant. They can't pronounce their words. They loud, obnoxious, normally smoking weed at 7:30 in the morning just to get the day started. Like, the term itself says what the people think about you. Acting white means you're acting up. Acting black means you're acting down. That's what it means to the people. And so when you culturally appropriate something that you would consider as beneath you, you end up with terms like white nigga. Because a nigga don't have a color. It just is. And the second you throw color in front of it, you throwing that bullshit in front of it, because you're just as racist as the people who call people niggers with the hard R. I know, it's a lot for them to digest, and I'll let them digest it. Purple Groovy said, the culture is grown and can take care of itself. We don't need no culture ally like that. We don't need that. I'll let Tom McDonald do what he does, because he don't seem like he's stepping on nobody's toes, and he damn sure ain't making no song called White Nigga. I don't even think he would identify himself as such. That's crazy to me. But the crazier part is that we are allowing this stuff to just float on through. Nobody says nothing. If it was me, the dude that did that song, he'd be canceled. But I don't play his shit anyway, so I have no say-so in that. I can't stop him from going viral with that song. But I can watch the fact that it goes viral and remind myself that it's because we keep exalting the wrong people. And that's why he felt that comfortable to do that. I don't know. It's a lot to it. And I know y'all might not be ready for it. I know YouTube definitely ain't ready for it. I know they already hit me with a flag for sensitive content. It was probably because I played that song. So if you're going to hit me for a flag and I'm just covering it, why did you allow that content to make its way through? Y'all already know. Certain people get certain privileges. I guess the white niggas get white privilege, white nigga privilege, right? Because I'll be damned if I get to say I'm a black honky or something as a song, or a black cracker. I'm a black cracker. Got my big old truck. I'm a black cracker. I don't give a fuck. You know, something like that. They would annihilate me for doing some shit like that. So he, even as a white nigga, still has white privilege, okay? nonetheless, I just got to give a special shout to Purple Groovy hanging out with me for the whole night. For the whole night. It's like I'm having a conversation with Purple Groovy specifically. And I am Z as well. I know Z might have fell asleep by now because it's getting late. But if you are still there, Z, love you. Thank you for stopping through as well. Shouts to Ann Lomar for stopping through as well. And of course for Purple Groovy for hanging out with us the whole time tonight. This applause is for y'all. Applause is for y'all. And I do appreciate y'all doing what y'all do, because when you stay on, the algorithm believes that there is a chance that we can have these real conversations, because everything on this show ain't about fun or funny. Some of it's about trying to get us to see the bullshit that is being presented to us so that we can make better choices for ourselves and our families in the future. This channel is not just about talking shit. We actually have a point. We're trying to help people with the First Step Act so that they can get back into the workforce after being released from jail. Why? Because I don't want criminals with idle time. I want them niggas working. So we got to put them to work. You can't have them just sitting around, because then what are they going to do? They're going to go back to what they knew best before. So it means something to me with the actual movement that we have going on over here. So I don't need 1 million followers. Now, granted, that one group that had 8 million people on there, I don't know how the hell they got 8 million followers or 8 million subscribers on that YouTube channel. That video was crap. It was trash. But they got 8 million subscribers, so they're doing something right. I need to figure that shit out, because I could use 8 million. That'd be cool. I could full-time YouTube with 8 million. I don't even need everybody to watch. Just give me 25% of the people actually watching my shit with 8 million. I'm good. You see what I'm saying? So apparently, you can be not that good and still get 8 million followers or 8 million subscribers on YouTube. So I have now been empowered, because if they can do it, well, shit, I can definitely do it. Okay? So nonetheless, I'm getting out of here for the night. I appreciate y'all for coming through and hanging out with me. I might jump on TikTok later, but I can't do TikTok too long. They argue too much on TikTok. It's all arguments on TikTok. And I don't like to argue that much. I don't argue with my wife, and that's, I don't argue with my moms like that. Like, I don't argue with anybody like that. So why would I want to get on the internet and argue like that? I'm not with all that. So for those that jump on TikTok with me, if you're just looking to subscribe to or follow on TikTok, that's Papa Purge on TikTok. You can go ahead and I just started that thing a month or two ago, so it's only about 200 people on there as far as followers. But you can join in and take this thing to 1,000. But in the interim, don't miss our Tuesday show. We'll be back on Tuesday. So I guess that's the day after St. Patrick's Day. I might have a St. Patrick's Day discussion regarding, what we allow to be celebrated in the U.S., pagan holidays, things like that. We might have that discussion. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go there with y'all yet, but if you're ready to go there with us, you make sure that you're back here on Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. sharp. We will be on here. Hopefully I'll get my panel that day, but if not, you'll just be looking at me and having a conversation with the world, and that's fine too. But if you are not here on Tuesday, I'll be upset. And the reason why I'll be upset is because that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out. Peace. Enjoy your weekend. It's been real.